All right, so let's go ahead and do the daily recap. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Daily Recap. My name is BreakyCPK, and what is February 9th, 2017. Definitely pretty much similar stuff to go over here as we've been doing these last couple of days. So to kick it off here, the Dota 2 Asian Championships continuing to be in full swing, and we're actually getting to points here in at least a couple of the qualifiers, a couple of regions, where we're getting pretty close to seeing who's going to be coming out on top. And I want to start with the Southeast Asian qualifiers because that's the one that happens first, obviously, being much earlier in the morning, a.k.a. the afternoon, evening for them in their time zone. But anyways, the Southeast Asian qualifiers, the most progressed so far. And taking a look how things have shaped up now, look at this. So we had our winter final set up as well as our losers round one set up. Look at how things have progressed. Most noticeably, WG Unity, Warriors Gaming Unity, pulling off the. Again, it's part of me wants to call it an upset. I think it is. I mean, this is definitely an upset as of what's been happening lately. They pull off the victory over TNC Pro Team initially, and then earlier this morning they take out Faceless 2-1 to move on to the grand finals, where they're going to be one match away from advancing on to the main event here of the Dota 2 Asian Championships. And, you know, you got both Faceless and TNC Pro Team are teams that really have been on a lot of momentum lately, especially TNC. They qualified in the Star Ladder. They won the WESG event that took place shortly before that. This is a team with a lot of momentum as of late, and on top of that, Faceless, of course, having their great run at the Dota Pit tournament that just took place here recently. They did decent also in the Star Ladder event where they finished second place just behind TNC Pro Team. Came down to the final day even. So these are two teams, a lot of momentum. Warriors Gaming Unity, not nearly as much. Of course, they had the Boston Major performance where they got top 8, but after that, we really haven't been hearing a lot of them, haven't been facing or playing the best in these recent events, but holy crap, are they turning it on in these playoffs again. They're in the grand finals, one win away from advancing on to the main event. So they're going to be facing now the winner of TNC versus Team Faceless, who ends up being our loser bracket final matchup. And that, of course, is set to happen tomorrow, and then followed by the grand finals after that, which is a best of 3 to clarify. With no advantage, I'm certain. Yeah, I would have said that right here. So, yeah, no advantage, best of 3. We'll see which of those two teams gets that rematch there against Warriors Gaming Unity. But I think if Warriors Gaming especially takes it all, it's definitely going to be considered a bit of an upset because, like I said, you would figure Faceless and TNC Pro Team were no doubt the favorites out of the Southeast Asian region. So that's kind of fun to see right there. Some definitely coming down to the wire, and 3 teams remaining here in Southeast Asia. Speaking of that, the European qualifier is the other one that's advancing on pretty well. And we are also down to 3 teams here in this tournament, as actually I was watching Game 3 finish right as I started my stream here today, so it's not updated here on the Liquipedia, but Cloud9 did take the third and final game, and thus they claim the series 2-1 and advancing on to the losers finals. Now, they're going to play the loser of Liquid versus Bears, which will be starting here very shortly as I am doing my stream here right now. So, in fact, I plan to at least maybe watch a little bit of it while talking about the new patch that came out. That's another thing probably worth mentioning. I'm sure you've heard of it by now, but patch 7.02 came out late last night / early this morning, depending on where you are. So actually, these matches that took place both in Southeast Asia and now Europe, they're playing on this new patch. And this wasn't just a minor gameplay tweak patch. There was some decent balanced changes that happened in this patch, which again we're going to be going over here on my stream, not part of the daily recap, but on my stream here. And maybe I'll even cut that up as its own segment once we get or finish with that. But point is, I haven't looked at everything, but even just glimpsing through and seeing reaction from Twitter and whatnot, There's some pretty significant changes, mainly to a lot of talent trees, actually, to heroes. But there's even some gameplay changes, such as the shrines, kind of changing the way when you can destroy the shrines. Now, if you take out a Tier 3 tower, the shrines become vulnerable compared to where if you needed all the outer Tier 2 towers before you could take them out. So this way, if you happen to siege into the base without a Tier 2 being destroyed on another lane, you can then take out the shrines that are outside of the base. So, there's things like that, though. That's just one of the several changes that took place in this patch. So it's a little unfortunate for the players and teams that they're kind of just being thrown at this right away. It's like, okay, this literally happened a couple hours ago. Here, play some very serious competitive Dota 2 tournaments now as a result. So, again, unfortunate in that sense, but Valve decided now was the best time, as they don't necessarily only have the Dota 2 Asian Championship qualifiers in mind. They got a lot to worry about when it comes to releasing content, I guess. So from the competitive aspect, a little unfortunate, but adapt or die, as they say. Sometimes, especially living in this scene, playing around it for so long, whether it's Dota, whether it's another MOBA, you're going to have to make those adjustments on the fly, as these patches seem like they can come out at the most random time sometimes. So, kind of the case here. Anyways, the point is, teams are playing on that patch now, and again, so take that how you will, but still, everyone has to play on it, so it's not like it's an advantage for any of the teams. It's just, you all have to make the adjustments here. Anyways, Cloud9, they take the Series 2-1, so Secret is knocked out, and Bears and Liquid, again, going to be starting here very, very shortly. So, outside of that, CIS and American qualifiers, we're still waiting for those to begin, which I believe they begin tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. They begin tomorrow, so we're going to find out what happens, and these qualifiers moved on, so there is no updates to make on these tournaments just yet. In fact, actually CIS in a couple of days even, so CIS even a little bit delayed compared to the other qualifying events. Outside of that, talking about that in the patch, really not much else to go over right here, other than, I'm actually just looking at this change right here. Interesting one at that. Lanham as well as Xi, Xi? I don't know how you'd pronounce that, Chi, I guess. Anyways, Chi being no longer a part of eHome, and then Lanham, who was the coach, he is now stepping in as the new player for eHome. So, looks like, okay, so this is their new roster. Yeah, he's stepping in as a new support player for the team. Other than that, it looks like everything else is going to be the same. So, interesting. Yeah, eHome has definitely been some struggles as of late with the Chinese scene in Dota 2, and they really haven't been having the best results considering their history and everything. So that'll be fun to see how that change maybe makes an impact within the team. But not surprised to see a change be made on a team like that with who has had their struggles. So. All right, but that pretty much does it for the daily recap, though. What is February 9th, 2017. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Once again, I'm BreakyCPK. You can check me out on my Twitch, my Facebook, my YouTube, all over the place, all over social media, all at BreakyCPK, pretty much anywhere. So thanks for tuning into this daily recap. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. All right, there we go. That is that, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're good for